With so many advances in society today, ageism is still an area that's taboo and not talked about or dealt with. Today, I will focus a discussion on how to avoid age bias in your resume. I will begin by providing a definition of ageism, data on the growing issue, and explain why it still exists. Additionally, I'll provide 3 tips you can utilize to overcome any employer or recruiter who may discriminate based on your age. Thank you for joining me today. Hello, everyone. My name is Candace Harvey Lee, and I am a professional resume writer. I started writing resumes for family and friends in 2018. After having much success, I started branching out into the larger community on Upwork and had even more success. In 2020, I started my own resume writing business through launching my website, CHLRWS.com. Since then, I've helped countless individuals land job interviews, job offers, and pay increases. I post success stories, recommendations, and thank yous on all my socials. Now, I am working with multiple training academies, fellowships, and recruitment firms to help others attain career success by providing resume and career consulting services. So, enough about me. Let's get started. So, what is ageism? Age discrimination involves treating an applicant or employee less favorably because of his or her age. The term is often applied to any type of age-based discrimination, whether it involves prejudice against children, teenagers, adults, or senior citizens. However, senior citizens are most vulnerable to age discrimination. The Age Discrimination in Employment Act forbids age discrimination against people who are age 40 or older. It does not protect against workers who are under the age of 40, although some states have laws that protect younger workers from age discrimination. However, most people believe age discrimination begins when workers hit their 50s. So, is age discrimination an issue? Well, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the number of workers over the age of 50 has increased by 80% over the past 25 years. In fact, workers aged 55 and older are expected to represent 25% of the nation's workforce by 2024. As more people live longer and healthier lives, many have plans to work well past the age of 65. With the workforce continuing to grow older, data suggests there may be instances of age discrimination. Over 75% of older Americans have experienced or seen age discrimination in the workforce, according to the AARP study. Age discrimination cases make up about 21% of claims filed each year with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. These are just some figures to think about. So why does ageism exist? Hiring managers with ageist bias may see older job seekers as having a tough time keeping up with younger job seekers when it comes to technology and new advancements. Employers may also feel that older employees are more expensive to pay for, both salary and benefits wise. In addition, it may be a belief that an older job seeker's experience is outdated, especially when an employer is given a choice to hire a younger worker who will likely have more updated and relevant skills, certifications, or requirements. The Age Discrimination in Employment Act aims to prevent ageism in hiring that people aged 40 and older might face. While many employers may not intend to discriminate based on age, we know that it can happen. Because your resume is typically your first chance to make an impression on the employer, it is also the first chance age bias can be introduced into the hiring process. Here are 3 tips to optimize your resume so employers will more likely focus on your skills, qualifications, and qualities instead of your age. Tip 1. Modernize your contact information. Tip 2. Consider your resume format and style. Tip 3. Remember that technology is your friend. Tip number 1. Modernize your contact information. You can do this by including city and state only on your resume. Including your full physical address is no longer necessary since much of the hiring process is done online, and doing so raises safety concerns for some candidates. You can also add your LinkedIn profile. One of the misconceptions about older workers is that they aren't able to use technology required in the modern office. Put this belief to bed by including your LinkedIn account on your resume. If you don't have one already, active and updated, start a new one now with a professional photo. And lastly, update your email service provider. Now, this may seem like a very small thing, but we've all been there. We've got emails from folks using AOL, Earthlink, and other more obscure providers, and we think of email pioneers with slow dial-up internet connections. It's a small thing, I realize, but it's an age identifier nonetheless. You need to create the perception that you are up to the times, so email addresses count. I recommend setting up a Gmail account and using that for career-related communications. For your professional email, use your first and last name so that hiring managers and recruiters can easily identify you by email. The second tip is to consider your resume format and style. You can do this by providing a brief professional summary, not an objective statement. Hiring managers have moved away from objective statements, which discuss what kind of position you were seeking, because they were candidate focused rather than company focused. In its place is a professional summary. These are typically only a few sentences that focus on the highlights of your career, mentioning quantitative figures about your recent successes if possible. Next, you can de-emphasize your education and remove your graduation dates. Because you likely have a wealth of valuable experience employers want to read about, it is typically best to move your education section to the bottom of your resume. Removing associated education attendance dates and details can also remove the distraction of older graduation. The more you can create interest in your work experience, the better. If you have advanced degrees like your master's degree or your PhD, include those in rank order. Any education beyond 5 to 8 years, you should avoid putting graduation dates. If you have a degree higher than a high school diploma, then take your high school diploma off your resume. So now this is a good one. Cut back your entire work history. Most experts recommend that a resume's work history should be recent and relevant, meaning that you likely want to delete work history that's 15 years or older. You should also format your resume in reverse chronological order, starting with your most recent employer and working backwards. Most hiring managers are more interested in your recent work history. So this one needs to be stated. Trim your resume to 1 or 2 pages. So you may be tempted to add every job you've ever had, starting with your summer job in college. However, an overly long resume dates you, as well as being a hassle to read. Too long resumes also make it seem like you have a one-size-fits-all resume for every position, and you aren't excited about this role in particular. Think of the resume as a focused proposition detailing why you're the best fit for the job. The third tip, remember that technology is your friend. It is very important to maintain updated software applications. What version of Microsoft Word are you using to create your resume? If it's dated, then it's going to affect the layout and design of your file once it is converted. It is important to consider that most resumes are emailed or uploaded, so the individual receiving or downloading the file could be looking at a distorted layout due to your outdated word processing technology. It is best to keep your software applications as up to date as possible. Additionally, When writing your resume, include relevant technical skills. Watch out for any language that could date you and make sure that you are current on all the technology within your field. And lastly, ensure an ATS-friendly resume. Your resume will likely go through an applicant tracking system before it's read by human eyes. An ATS is software used by employers to sort through all the applications they initially receive for a job posting. Recruiters and hiring managers filter through resumes by using the ATS to identify specific keywords and phrases that indicate the application is a good fit for the role. To help you get past the ATS, it's important that you carefully read the job description and tailor your resume accordingly. Include keywords that apply to your background in your resume summary, skills section, and professional experience. Avoid over-adding keywords, which ATS are generally able to flag, by including keywords with natural language and not carelessly adding high volumes of keywords throughout your resume. To conclude, keep in mind that when it comes to your resume, perception is reality, and you cannot afford to appear off-trend or rusty. I can't tell you how many 50-plus resumes I come across that are way off trend. If this is the case, you can absolutely expect our hiring manager to make initial judgments about your age. Anyone would. For example, if you hadn't had a full resume makeover since you graduated college, your resume is off trend. Much has changed in the world of resume presentations, including the addition of the skills section, much due to ATS technology. If your resume is even slightly off trend, your age will show, and not in a good way. If you are struggling with your resume and bringing it up to speed, I highly recommend investing in a professionally written resume. Because of your years of valuable experience, you want to be sure that your best and brightest accomplishments and your top selling points aren't overlooked. This can't tend to be the case with those highly designed resume templates. They look great, but they don't convey your best accomplishments. Furthermore, many of the designer resume templates aren't ATS optimized. In my experience, this is better left to resume writing experts such as myself. If you know you need a new resume that will bring you up to trend, hire an expert to do this for you. You'll be glad you did. So now it's time for Q&As. So the first question comes from Melina in Orlando, Florida. She asks, can my employer ask me about my age? Hello, Melina. Thank you for your question. Yes, according to the EEOC, the federal law does not prohibit employers from asking about an applicant's age or date of birth. However, because such questions may discourage older workers from applying for jobs or may otherwise indicate a possible intent to discriminate based on age, employers should assure that they ask about an applicant's age only for lawful purposes. So next question comes from Francina from Piney Orchard, Maryland. She asks, can my employer punish me for reporting what I think is age discrimination? Thank you, Fran. I appreciate your question. The answer is no. This practice is known as retaliation. It is illegal for your employer to punish you, treat you differently, or harass you because you report discrimination to someone at your company, to EEOC, or to your parents, your teachers, or anyone trusted adult. This is true even if it turns out that the conduct you complained about is not found to be discrimination. So last question comes from James from Los Angeles, California. He asks, is it illegal for someone 40 or older to discriminate or harass others based on their age? Thank you, James. Great question. Yes, it is illegal for someone 40 or older to discriminate against or harass others who are 40 or older. For example, a 42-year-old supervisor may not harass a 67-year-old employee in the workplace due to medical issues for any reason. As discussed earlier, this is a violation of the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, which forbids age discrimination against people who are 40 and older. So thank you for attending this web event. If you haven't done so already, click the like, subscribe, and follow for more original content. CHLRWS is an industry leader at writing effective cover letters and resumes that help you stand out to recruiters. If you need any help or support, do not hesitate to contact us.